You get your paycheck. It hits your account on the same day every month, like clockwork. You're not rich, but you're stable. You can pay rent, you can cover groceries, you can keep the lights on, and if someone asked how you're doing, you'd probably say, "I'm fine." But then you notice something strange. You make more than you used to, and yet you don't feel any closer to freedom. In fact, in some ways, it feels worse, because now you have more to lose. You start looking at your life like a machine that runs non-stop but never builds momentum. And the weird part is that nothing dramatic happened. No big mistake. No catastrophic purchase. No stock market crash. You just stayed employed. Which is why this is so hard to see. Because the salary trap doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like adulthood. A salary doesn't just pay you. It classifies you. The moment your income becomes predictable, you become one of the easiest people in the world to extract money from. Not because you're dumb, because predictability is the raw material of modern finance. Predictable income is what makes you safe to lend to, easy to upsell, easy to target, easy to price, and easy to keep on a treadmill. My name is the Crab, and on this channel, we break down the invisible scripts that quietly keep normal people broke. Most people think the solution is to earn more. Today, I'm going to show you why, for most people, earning more inside the same system doesn't create freedom. It creates a cleaner, more comfortable cage. To understand this, you have to stop thinking about your salary as money and start thinking about it as a signal. A signal that tells the world exactly what you can handle. Think of your paycheck like a tide. It rises on schedule, and the entire ecosystem around you evolves to feed on that schedule. The landlord knows. The car company knows. The subscription companies know. The bank knows. And slowly, without anyone announcing it, your life reorganizes around your next deposit. You don't even need to be irresponsible for this to happen. It happens to disciplined people. It happens to planners. It happens to the person who brings lunch to work and still wonders why they can't get ahead. Because the trap isn't spending. The trap is the automatic assignment of future income. At first, a salary feels empowering because it fills empty space. You're building from nothing. Any income is progress. But over time, that same salary becomes an anchor. Everything settles around it. Your rent rises until it fits. Your lifestyle rises until it fits. Your obligations rise until they fit. And eventually, you reach a point where every extra dollar you earn doesn't go into building wealth. It goes into relieving pressure that the system created the moment it saw you could handle more. This is what I call income anchoring. Once your income becomes stable, your entire financial life starts orbiting it. Not consciously. Automatically. The system doesn't ask, "Do you want to spend more?" It asks, "How much can you sustain?" And then it designs offers that are just barely sustainable. That's why so many people feel like they're always one unexpected bill away from panic, even as their salary climbs. The system doesn't need you to fail. It just needs you to stay engaged. The easiest way to see this is to travel back in time, because history makes the invisible visible. In the 1800s and early 1900s, there were places called company towns. A factory would move into a remote area and build housing, stores, and services for workers. On paper, it looked like stability. A steady wage, a roof over your head, everything you need nearby. But the company also owned the store, set the prices, controlled credit, and sometimes even paid workers in a form of money that could only be used inside that ecosystem. The worker wasn't poor because the wage was zero. The worker was poor because the wage was immediately captured by a system designed around that exact wage. The paycheck entered, and it flowed right back out. The worker lived in a loop. Now you might be thinking, "Okay, Crab, I don't live in a company town. I get paid in real money. I can spend it anywhere." True, but the modern version is more elegant. It doesn't need to own the town. It just needs to own the pricing model. Today, your salary is used to calculate what you can be charged. That's not a conspiracy. That's pricing strategy. The bank doesn't look at your character. It looks at your cash flow. It doesn't see your work ethic. It sees your debt-to-income ratio. It doesn't ask how hard you try. It asks how reliably you can be billed. This is why two people can buy the same thing and pay completely different prices. Your interest rate, your credit limit, your insurance premium, your loan offers, even the types of products marketed to you are shaped by the same idea. You are a predictable stream of payments. And once you're predictable, you become measurable. And once you're measurable, you become optimized. Let's make this painfully concrete with a normal life example, because the salary trap isn't built from one big decision. It's built from small decisions that feel reasonable in isolation. Imagine you're making $55,000 a year, and you get a raise to $65,000. You feel it immediately. You can breathe. So you upgrade one thing. Maybe you move to a slightly nicer place because you're tired of the old one. The rent goes up by $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year. Then you decide you can finally finance a better car because the old one is unreliable. The payment is $150 more. That's $1,800 a year. Your insurance adjusts upward because the car is worth more. Another $600. Your lifestyle inflates just a bit because you feel like you earned it. A few more dinners out, a few more conveniences, a few subscriptions you didn't have before. That's another $1,000 without even trying. Suddenly, that $10,000 raise has quietly turned into $6,400 of new annual commitments, and you haven't saved a single additional dollar. On paper, you make more. In reality, you increased your required monthly burn. And now the scary part. You are no longer living on $55,000. You are living on $65,000 with no slack, meaning one disruption, a layoff, a medical bill, a family emergency, turns a stable life into a crisis faster than before because you built a larger machine that needs constant fuel. This is why raises are emotionally addictive but financially disappointing. They relieve pressure briefly, and then your baseline resets. The system loves this because baseline resets create permanent demand. And that's the core mechanism of the salary trap. It converts upside into obligation. This is also why budgeting advice often fails. Budgeting assumes your spending is the problem, but a lot of modern spending is not a decision you make each day. It's a structure you committed to months or years ago. The structure is the story. Once you've committed to the structure, the monthly payment is no longer a choice. It's a law. People think financial freedom comes from earning more money. But inside a fully optimized extraction system, earning more often just means you qualify for more ways to be charged. Your life becomes a menu where every item is priced at just barely doable. That's not because you're weak. It's because the system is designed to meet you exactly where you are. It's like walking into a casino where the games are calibrated to your exact income. You can play. You can even win occasionally. But the building is designed to keep you there. So how do we escape something this invisible? We don't escape by becoming extreme. We escape by building firewalls, the same way Bobby did with the Diderot effect. Not willpower. Not motivation. Firewalls. Because the salary trap is not a moral failure. It's an environment problem. Here are 3 defenses that actually work. Defense number 1 is to calculate the assignment rate, not just the spending rate. Most people track how much they spend. The smarter metric is how much of your future income is already spoken for before the month begins. Add up the commitments you cannot easily change in 30 days. Rent or mortgage, car payment, insurance, minimum debt payments, subscriptions you would feel weird canceling, childcare, anything that hits automatically. Divide that by your take-home pay. That number is your assignment rate. If it's 80%, you are not free, even if you make a good salary. You are pre-committed, and the goal is not to hit some perfect number. The goal is to see the trap clearly. Because once you see the assignment rate, you stop celebrating raises as if they're freedom, and you start asking, will this raise reduce my assignment rate, or will it just inflate my commitments? Defense number 2 is to create invisible income. This is the opposite of lifestyle inflation. Invisible income means increasing your financial position in ways that don't trigger social expectations or personal baseline resets. The most powerful example is automatic investing, or automatic debt payoff that happens before money becomes available in your checking account. If the money never becomes visible, it never gets recruited into new obligations. This is why people who wait to save what's left over almost always save nothing. The system sees what's left over. You see what's left over. And you will always find a use for it. Invisible income is money that leaves your hands before your identity has time to adapt. Defense number 3 is strategic under-upgrading. This is the one that makes people uncomfortable because it's not exciting. But it is lethal against the salary trap. Under-upgrading means refusing to turn every increase in income into a visible increase in lifestyle. It means deliberately keeping 1 or 2 anchor categories humble, because anchor categories set expectations for everything else. If your housing and car remain modest, you create a low-maintenance identity. And a low-maintenance identity is the highest yield asset most people will ever own. It reduces the pressure to match your own life. It reduces the psychological need to upgrade everything around you. And it protects you from becoming the person who needs their next paycheck just to keep their story coherent. Notice what these defenses have in common. None of them require you to make less money. None of them require you to live in a cave. They require you to stop broadcasting your capacity to the system. The system thrives on clarity. You can't always hide your income, but you can hide your lifestyle response to it. You can keep your baseline from resetting. You can keep your assignment rate low. And when you do, something magical happens that most people never experience. A raise actually turns into freedom instead of into a nicer treadmill. Here's the terrifying realization at the heart of all of this. The most dangerous financial position is not being broke. It's being comfortable, predictable, and fully optimized for extraction. Because when you're broke, everyone agrees you need help. When you're comfortable, everyone assumes you're fine, including you. Even as you quietly lose your future to monthly commitments, the salary trap is seductive because it feels like security. But true security is not a paycheck. True security is optionality. It's the ability to say no. It's the ability to survive disruption. It's the ability to let life happen without collapsing. If this changed how you see your paycheck, hit the like button. Subscribe for calm, visual breakdowns of the systems nobody explains. I'm the Crab, and I'll see you in the next one.